Hi everybody, thank you for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. I've been away for a while now. Everything's been in limbo since I severed my median nerve, crippling my left hand. So yeah, as if GVHD wasn't enough, but I met a very literal doctor who said I'm going to be all right.
Yes, he's lost his left hand, so he's going to be all right.
You son of a bitch!
Actually, what the doctor said is that I'll never be the same again, but that's for another video. This video, let's jump right into a before and after of my 1,000th subscriber celebratory computer upgrade and then tour the case mod. What I hope comes across is just how much design work went into this. The Lian-Li PC60 was released in 2000 and predates wire staging, solid-state drives, modular power supplies, and even built-in panel windows. A whole lot of work went into making it all come together. Hopefully, I can get back to streaming and teaching soon. The idea was that the upgrade would help take the channel to the next level. Thanks again. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you find some modding and cable management concepts you'd like to use. Originally, all I wanted to do was upgrade the RAM in my BitPhoenix Prodigy case so that my Tiger Samurai sculpting wouldn't chug. Upgrading the RAM meant upgrading the motherboard, which meant upgrading the case from a mini ITX. When transferring components, I realized both the CPU and the video card lit up. I'm easily mesmerized by glowing lights, so then and there I decided to go all in on a mod, which is something I used to quite enjoy. The first step was to cut a window, and for that I 3D printed a template and a bezel. Once I could see inside, it was evident that cable management was needed. The first thing I did was drill out some rivets and remove the hard drive cage. As a result, I had to do away with my hard drives and invest heavily in a bunch of mNAND and SSD drives. Panning up, these, as far as I know, are the only 80mm fans available in RGB, so shout out to Anades. Further up, you can see I chopped down the 2.5 bay and 3D printed an edge guard. To the left of that is a 3D printed wire shroud, the first of several throughout. Above that is the 5.5 bay where I've stuffed the RGB controller and SSDs. Since there's no cable staging, I've routed all the wires into the bay and 3D printed an enclosure to clean things up. Notice anything missing along the bottom here? In one of my more inspired cable management moments, I got rid of the case header. The best way to manage cables is to get rid of them entirely. There are no wires running to the case power switch or the reset switch or the HD lights. It turns on via voice activation. The PSU runs to a smart plug. There's a couple of BIOS parameters you need to set up to make it all happen. If anyone's interested, I'll do a video on that. These wires have been blacked out with heat shrink. Some of these wires are carefully routed behind the motherboard, which originally caused shorts, but I've since fixed that. Along the bottom there's some bramble, but this is about as good as it gets with an OG case from the early aughts. The interior monitor runs sensor panel, and this is a custom skin I created in part during a stream. The gauges are custom too. It has CPU temp, which is over 10 degrees cooler because of the AIO, and GPU temp. It has CPU and RAM workloads, storage totals, and a bunch of other things. The bracket is 3D printed, the diffusers too, and the X lighting is accomplished with a generic RGB LED strip. Lighting is addressed via OpenRGB software. The HDMI cable runs outside through a 3D printed PCI plate, and up here I've exterior mounted the Corsair AIO water cooling block and fans. At first I was concerned that this might look odd, but I'm quite pleased with the result. I think it very nicely complements the industrial look. Also, mounting it outside is the only way to make it possible to install a full loop later. The grommet is of course 3D printed, as was the template used to mount it, and these handles are a mod as well. I'm super happy with the way this turned out. It's the first time I've felt like I've truly completed a mod. Here are the specs. Thanks for watching and celebrating my modest milestone of 1,000 subscribers. I hope it has given you some cable management and modding ideas. Thanks, and stay tuned for some more vids.